You're listening to Upon Further Review, presented by Coors Light on the official Raiders Podcast Network. Here's your host, Eddie Paskal.
Raider Nation, what is going on? Eddie Paskal and producer Trav in Nevada and California, respectively. And breaking news, and if you listen to the first 30 seconds of this podcast, you know we got some money, baby. We are in the money. After countless months of begging and pleading and hitting twitter.com to just find someone who is interested in our little program, we have a sponsor. Big shout out to the good people at Coors Light for anteing up, no pun intended, and showing us some big green stacks of dinero. No Robert. So that's it, man. We're sponsored. We finally got a sponsor. The good news is, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious. It's great news. The only downside, producer Trav, we got to retire the bit, right? We can't say that we don't have any money coming in anymore. It's time to officially put that to bed, huh?
Yep, it's done.
But what a great bit it was. It lived a beautiful life, a very long, healthy, happy life.
Yeah, like what, 2 years?
Too long. I'll tell you that. Too long. So, what changes for us is probably a great place to start. What is going to change for us on this show with this Coors Light sponsorship? I guess the easy answer is for right now, not a whole lot. We're going to keep making the ridiculous program that we make. We're going to keep having a lot of fun. And we do have a good show today. Stick around for the great Henry Ruggs III in just a few minutes. But our day-to-day really isn't going to be that much different, which is a credit to the good people at Coors for just letting us do our thing and saying, hey guys, we like what you're doing. Let's slap our name on there. Let's get weird with it and have some fun. So that won't change. Really, the only thing that will change when we get into the studio in Henderson, whenever that may be, you're going to be seeing a lot more of us. You're going to be seeing, hopefully, if all goes to plan, some really cool kind of interactive project type stuff that we're gonna work on, that we're gonna work out. But yeah, man, we have done it. Well, I wouldn't say we've done it. The people, our sponsorship department, the good people at Coors Light, all those folks have done it. We've really just sat by and said, hey, thanks. So yeah, man, great news off the top. And I will say before we move on to the actual meat of the program today, a big shout out to Engineer Jim, because in addition to the new ins and outs, well, you haven't heard the out yet, but spoiler alert, it's a little bit different now. We have a new logo, a new gorgeous logo that we have channeled our inner Las Vegas, a little neon light action with the Coors Light logo as well, as one would expect now that we are living that life. But a big shout out to Engineer Jim for coming up with that, man. And over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be unveiling some new kind of fun twists and turns and new additions to the show. But by and large, do not worry, nothing will change. Our low level of analysis will remain active. Our general tomfoolery and our dedication to really just having fun and not being football guys, but being guys who just talk about football, that will remain constant, I promise you. But we did it, guys. And we couldn't have done it without each and every one of you who have tuned in week after week and listened to us, who have tweeted at us, offering to sponsor the show or a segment yourselves. We have read every single one of them. Travis and I have been endlessly amused and entertained by all those queries. And you never know. Never say never. But for now and going forward, welcome to Upon Further Review, presented by Coors Light. That sounds good, huh, Travi? It sounds nice. Sounds natural.
Yeah, it does, especially, cracking them cold ones.
Oh boy, and we're gonna get there in just a little bit. I promise you that. But before we do, a few headlines before we get into our interview with the great Hank Ruggs III. So number one, and this isn't really much of a surprise, but the virtual offseason program from the NFL has been extended, I should say, through May 29th. Really not much of a surprise there. Initially, the offseason program was scheduled to remain virtual until May 15th, which obviously is tomorrow. And no secret here, guys, we are just not at a place where we can open up our world yet, open up our country. And I know that we're starting to see the shadows, the stirring bear of, if you will, of our country coming back and of the world coming back, but we're not there yet. And so no shocker, the off-season program remains virtual through May 29th, and I would expect we'd have some sort of update once we get closer to May 29th in terms of what the next steps are for that. So, what about us? When are we going back to the building? When are you going to be seeing us in our brand new gorgeous studio in our brand new gorgeous facility here in Henderson? Well, I don't know yet, but I think we're hopeful that it'll be at some point sooner than later. Is that going to be June? Is it going to be July? Is it going to be August? None of us know. But as I said, we're all doing our part. We're all staying safe. All of us are locked down in our homes, washing our hands, doing what we need to do to make sure that we get back sooner than later. Because let's be real, man. We've talked a lot about how fortunate Travis and I and the great KMM and Logan, the great digital Don Logan Norton, who will be joining us in KMM's stead today. So stick around for that too. But we've talked about how fortunate we are that we're still able to work. We're still cashing our paychecks every 2 weeks, that we're still living in we're healthy, number one, but we're still living in a place where we can more or less go through our day to day. And that's number one. That's the most important thing. But we're getting antsy, right? We want to be back into the real world. We want to be back into reality as soon as we can, just like all of you. And so when we have any idea of what that's going to look like for us, we will be sure to pass that information along. But for now, the remote boys are alive and well. They are kicking. They are in 3 states, I believe, 3 states, 2 states, who knows, a ton of different zip codes, but we're making it work and we're having fun doing it. As I said, Henry Riggs III set to join us in just a few minutes, but it wouldn't be an episode of Upon Further Review, sponsor or no sponsor, if we didn't begin with transactions. So here we are. Since the last time that we broke bread and chopped it up with you guys, we have been active. We have been rocking and rolling as we tend to do this time of the year. So without any further ado, on May 7th, the Silver and Black signed kicker Dominic Eberle, wide receiver Cioce Mariner, and I hope I'm not butchering that, so my apologies to Mr. Mariner, and defensive tackle Mike Panasuk. Do we have a pronunciation on that one, Travis? Is it Panasuk? Panashuk? You got anything for me?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, we'll go with Panashuk. It's Panasiuk. I'm gonna go with the sh pronunciation. So Mike Panashuk. And then just a few days later, on the 11th, the Raiders signed running back Devontae Booker, formerly of the Denver Broncos, and waived in a corresponding move linebacker Derek Moncrief. So there it is, the business of the week. And as I said, we had to come with the fire. I don't even know if we can say fire anymore, Chad. We got to come with some ice cold Rockies, like an avalanche, or what is like a snow natural thing? You know, I'm not much of an outdoorsman.
Avalanche, yeah, that sounds like a good I don't know.
A good analogy. I don't know. Listen, in the spirit of full transparency, I don't spend a lot of time in the cold. The only thing that I do like to be cold are the Rockies on the side of my cool can of Coors Light. So we came hot, we came heavy, and we're going to bring in just a second Henry Ruggs III, not only the newest wide receiver. Well, I guess technically he's not the newest wide receiver, but one of the newest wide receivers for the Silver and Black. But the answer to a great trivia question 50 years from now, as he is the first drafted member of the Las Vegas Raiders. It was great to catch up with Henry. We appreciate his time oh so sincerely, especially amidst the madness that we're currently living in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our conversation with Henry Ruggs III. And Henry, man, we ask everyone the same thing kind of as we kick off this interview. How are you doing? Are you hanging in there throughout this kind of crazy quarantine time?
Man, I'm doing the best I can. It's not the easiest thing to do. Of course, I'm ready to get out and play some real football, but I guess I'm hanging in there.
Man, so what is a normal kind of day in quarantine look like for you? Because I know what it's like for us, but we're also not getting ready to play our first season in the NFL.
Well, biggest thing, wake up, try to get a good meal, try to wake up consistently on the same time, then go right into meetings. So I'm on Zoom, for a couple of hours, going over the install with the coaches, and from there go get me a workout in, whether it's on the field running or just in the weight room, try to do something, and from there probably just get something to eat and back home and just getting some rest to start all over again.
Man, how crazy. Like, I can't imagine that 6 months ago you ever thought that you'd be going through your first off-season program as a professional, all virtually, not getting a chance to meet the coaches or anything like that. Like, do you ever sit there and you're like, man, I can't believe that we're really doing this?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like the only thing that I think about is just like how did this happen when my time came? You know, it's only something that you can just wonder about. You know, when what if I would have waited another year? What if I would have been, you know, still in college doing this? It just brings up a lot of different thoughts.
Well, I think we're all very glad that you came out this year and you're now the first pick. And you're going to be a great kind of trivia question. You're going to be the first Las Vegas Raiders draft pick. Do you keep anything from that night, like as a memento or anything, or do you like keep the hat or?
Oh man, I got a couple things. I got the hat, I got the robe hung up, I got well, when they sent me the jersey, I got the jersey. So I mean I got a couple different things just to remember that night for.
All right, I got to ask. So where is the robe right now? Because the robe was the talk of night one of the draft. Where is it at this exact moment?
It's at my mom's house in her closet.
Does mom wear it at all, or is that just going to end up in the man cave one day?
The crazy thing is, I went back over there like what was the next day, and she had it on, and I was like, "You gotta hang that up. You can't be wearing that." She was like, "Nah, I gotta feel it one time." So
that's gonna be worth
she
a lot.
did have it on.
That's gonna be worth a lot of money one day. You got to tell Mama Rose, "Hey, listen, I get it. I get that it's comfy, but we got to put that in glass. We got to make sure that when the Hall of Fame comes a calling, that we have that robe ready for him."
Yeah.
Did you like the virtual draft, Henry, in terms of getting to have that moment with your family, or was it kind of like a weird in between? Because by and large, it felt like it was a pretty successful event.
I can definitely, you know, second on that it was a successful event. It was something that was different. Of course, I wanted to be down there around the fans so you can interact and things like that. But I mean, the experience to be, you know, to be at home and around, you know, more of your family that you could have been around, you know, in Vegas, you know, that just makes it even more special that you can enjoy that moment with, you know, the people that have been there for your whole life.
Would you have come to Vegas and done the dapping up the commissioner and the whole deal if it was on the table, or would you have gone and stayed at home?
Oh, definitely. I was already planning on coming to Vegas. I had a couple suits. I actually didn't pick the exact one that I was gonna wear, but I had a couple options.
All right, give me a little teaser, because once we're all together, like I'm a big suit guy. Like I love wearing like a nice suit on game day. Give me just a little teaser. You don't have to tell me exactly what you were gonna wear, but what was kind of the general look you were going for?
Well, it was actually 3 different looks. So I had one with the vest and the long tie, one with the vest and bow tie, and one with no vest.
Okay. All right. See, it's good to have that variety, right? You want to keep people guessing. You want to keep them on their toes. But Henry, I want to ask you about the moment that you actually got that you get the call, you find out that you're going to Las Vegas, and the Raiders are on the clock. And at that point, all 3 of the quote unquote big 3 receivers this year, you, CD, and Jerry Jeudy, are all on the board. What was kind of going through your head when you see the tick, 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 tick with the Las Vegas Raiders on the clock?
My biggest thing was just wait it out, and you know, it was in God's hand. Whatever was going to happen was going to happen. So, you know, I was pretty much just waiting and watching and just talking with my family. And you know, when I got the call, it was I really didn't even know how to process it, you know, while I was having the conversation. And, you know, then it kind of hit me towards the end of the conversation when Coach was saying that, you know, he was locking the pick in. He was like, "Congratulations." And I was just like, "Oh man, it's real." And even then it didn't hit me until I heard it on the TV.
Was that moment, kind of being able to watch Goodell call your name out, was that moment everything that you thought it was going to be?
It definitely was, just to have our family there and, you know, celebrate with me. That was something that you don't feel every day, and that feeling of excitement and joy and just happiness around me, is just a different feeling that you just can't get every day.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, we were fired up watching the TV, so I can't imagine what it was like to be in that room with your family and friends and getting to kind of live that dream. That's got to be pretty cool. But when people think of Henry Ruggs, they think of how fast you are. You run that 4.27 at the 40, blow those numbers out of the water. But you said you wanted to run faster, that you could have run faster than a 4.27. Between you and I, what can you run? Like, if everything's perfect, like, what's a good 40 time for you?
I mean, I really can't say an exact time. I can just say lower than 4.27. That's all I can say.
That's gross, man. That's just rude. There's no need to run faster than 4.27, I don't think. I don't think so. When did you realize that you were fast? Like, did something happen like when you were a kid? Was like you beat someone in a race or?
Um, well, honestly, we used to just run around every day. So me and my mom, she had a track background, so we would race, to the car, or we'll go into the street and race from pole to pole, do the different little things, just running. But I really realized I was fast. Oh, excuse me. When I first started to play football, I really never wanted to get hit. So whenever I got the ball, I used to run straight to the sideline and just go up the field from there. And if anybody caught me, then I would be able to run out of bounds. But I was never caught, when I was doing that. So that's when I kind of, I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of fast. And then going back in the neighborhood racing, I never lost the street race in the neighborhood. So, that those things right there just boosted my confidence and just had me thinking, yeah, I'm pretty fast.
I mean, hey, listen, I don't blame you. Like when you think of some of these dudes in the SEC that are trying to come down and hit you square, like I don't blame you for not wanting to get hit, man. I get out of bounds too. I'm telling you, like I'm a skinny dude, man. Like I'm not super built, and that was the quickest thing I would do. I would be catch the ball, I'm out of bounds, I'm falling down, I'm giving myself up. We spoke to Coach Saban a couple weeks ago, and he told us that he was like, people get blinded by the speed with Henry. They look at the numbers, and for good reason. They're kind of taken away by how fast he is, the explosive playmaking ability. But he said people don't give him enough credit for how athletic he is. Like Saban said, this dude is a freak athlete, but people don't talk about it because they see those numbers on how fast you can run the 40 and all that. Do you think that people just get blinded by that pure speed and don't kind of give you credit for the complete player that you are?
I think so. I think with the speed, it comes a bit of a stereotype. People think, just because he's fast, he can't do anything else. He's just a fast guy. So when he gets open field, of course, that's when he's going to work. But they don't see the different things, the underneath, the intermediate things that I do, and just the toughness that I play with. They don't, they overlook that just because I'm pretty fast.
Do you think that guys like you, like guys who are just legit speedsters, kind of have to come into the league? Do you like come in with like a chip on your shoulder to show that like, hey man, I'm super fast, yeah, but like you said, I can do everything else that I need to do to be a dominant wide receiver in the NFL?
That's definitely the mindset and mentality that I have, because once again, like I said, people only look at me as a speed guy. People say that I'm a track star, and I really don't. I don't agree with that, because I only ran track 1 year in high school. So how could I be a track star? That's just not football.
I assume that 1 year track was a pretty good year though, right?
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good year. It was just something that I did just to to stay in shape and things. But I only ran the 100-meter and 4x1, and my 4x1 team, we came third in state. But of course, I won the 100-meter.
Yeah, no surprise there. Henry, after we picked you, we were all kind of doing our homework and kind of to get a good picture of like who Henry Ruggs was, like the total picture, right? And I gotta say, man, I went down the rabbit hole and I ended up on a YouTube clip of all of your high school basketball clips. Oh my God, dude! Like, I was like, why isn't this guy's playing football? Like, at what point were you like, man, basketball's fun and all that, but I want to play football?
Probably going into my senior year of high school, when I lost my best friend in a car accident. That was my workout partner and the person that motivated me the most in basketball. So it was just like I didn't have the same feeling, going into the gym late at night or early in the morning by myself. I didn't have him with me. It was just, I ain't gonna say I lost my work ethic, but the feeling and motivation in basketball wasn't there anymore.
It's just different, right? It's just, It didn't feel like it used to feel. But yeah. How would you kind of describe your basketball game? Like, how was Henry Ruggs the basketball player? Like, I saw the dunks and all the incredibly disrespectful things you were doing to those poor kids in Alabama, but like, how would you describe your game?
Explosive. I'm a high energy guy, so I'm a guy that's everywhere on the court. I'm running around everywhere. We played a full court style of game. We pressed the whole game. We're tracking, and that was me. I was just a high energy guy, high motor, and I'm pretty much just like football. I'm fast and athletic.
What was the nastiest dunk you ever pulled off?
Um, in game
Just
or
in general, yeah. Just the one where you're like, oh no.
probably my favorite was probably the windmill 360.
It's a good one. You pull it off in a game ever?
Nah, I never really tried things in the games. So my best in game dunk would probably be a windmill or just a regular 360.
Oh, just a regular 360.
Yeah,
Just a regular
just
360.
a normal one.
Henry Ruggs is our guest, and Henry, when you get to Vegas, you're gonna reunite with the friendly phase. Josh Jacobs is here, another guy that you know incredibly well. How nice is it gonna be to kind of go on this journey? And there's so many new things that happen for a rookie in the NFL, but to have a guy like Josh, who you know and who literally did the exact same thing that you're trying to do a year ago.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I mean, just because just the relationship that we have. I mean, that's my dude. I mean, we kind of clicked at Alabama, and just we have the same mindset. You know, going into things that we have something to prove, and people kind of look down on the things that we're able to do and our ability. So, you know, we kind of just click from there, and since then we've been pretty tight. So I just know that when I get there, I have somebody that's gonna make sure that I'm on top of everything and gonna motivate me to do big things like he did.
What was the first thing that Josh said to you after you got drafted?
Um, I told you. That was it. That was the first thing he said. He called me. He called me probably an hour after I got picked, and he was just like, "Hey, I told you it's gonna happen." And he was just like, "It's time to go to work now."
Yeah, that's well said. Do you, since Josh was here last year, or here in Oakland as a Raider, I should say, did you watch any Raiders football last year to kind of keep tabs on him, or are you guys like so locked in on your season and what you're trying to do that you don't really have a chance to kind of watch what's going around in the pros?
I mean, we have a chance to watch him. So of course, whenever I had the chance to sit down and watch, I did. But I did, of course, see the things that he was doing because, like I said, he's my guy, and we had that type of relationship.
I mean, you come into a room now here in Las Vegas, you look at some of the wide receivers that are in there, Tyrell Williams, Hunter Renfrow, Zay Jones, Brian Edwards, another rookie like yourself. I mean, there are so many guys that can straight up just play ball in that room. Is it exciting to you to come in here and once the pads come on, you guys are able to go back to work? I mean, I don't know if there's a deeper, more competitive position group on this roster than the whiteouts.
That's exciting. I mean, just of course coming from one of the best wide receiver groups in the nation, to another competitive group and that's full of talent and guys that can do everything. I mean, that's only gonna make you better, and that competitive spirit is something that I'm gonna carry with me, and we're just gonna, we're gonna get in, we're gonna bond together as brothers, but we're gonna work.
So I know you wore 11 at Bama. You get to wear that here in Las Vegas. What's the significance behind 11?
Um,
It looks cool.
If I tell you the story, you probably wouldn't believe it.
Come on, hit me.
Okay, number 11 was a number that I just fell in love with because I always wanted to wear number 1, but my head was wrapped around it because number 1 was always overrated to me because everybody, to wear number 1, you had to be that guy. You had to play both sides of the ball. You had to do this. You had to do that. And I just always felt like, I don't need that expectation on me. I'm just going to go out. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And I'm going to play, I'm going to play to my ability. But like I said, I always wanted number 1, but I always felt it was overrated. So I never wanted to wear it, honestly. So I just got, if I get 2 ones, then it's pretty much the same thing, but it's different.
Dude, and it's very trendy now, like receivers wearing these numbers in the teens. I mean, like 16 is a huge number, 12, and Zay wears 12. Like, it's funny, like, to think that, 5-10 years ago, it was all the 80s now, right? But it seems like it's very trendy now to wear those lower numbers.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely becoming a thing, but it's not nothing that's gonna make you. I mean, of course, you make the jersey number, so you go with what you get, and you just stick with it and then make a name for it.
Yeah, very well said. And Henry, we've taken up so much time, but I'm going to ask you before you get out of here. When you have some downtime, and I know that you probably don't have a ton right now, but like, what are you doing for fun? Like, what are you doing on a Friday night? Like, you a big movie guy? Like, you listen to music? Like, what do you do to hang out?
My favorite activity is the bowl. I love to just go bowling with my family, but of course, right now the bowling alley is closed, so I just play video games or just play cards.
Okay, that's not too bad. What's your card game of choice?
Well, we play spades and whiz.
Okay, there you go. All right. Me and my fiance play a lot of gin. That's like the one that we've been playing a lot of to pass the time while we're locked up
Mm.
together. What's the highest you've ever bowled?
Um,
Best score?
it was 219.
219?
Yeah.
Okay. I bet you I'll give you 6 months and I bet you could hit like the 280s or something.
Yeah, I definitely can get higher. See, that's just my plan when I got done with combine training was to come home and get me a personal ball because I love the ball so much. And of course, as soon as I got home, they closed everything down, so I never able to go get it. So as soon as they open it back up, first thing I'm doing is going to one of the pro shops and going to customize my ball.
There you go. I'm looking forward to it, man. You got to post that on IG so we can take a look at it. But Henry Ruggs, man, we appreciate you so much. We're so excited to have you in Silver and Black. I can't wait to like meet you in person, as I said, and not have to keep living this virtual Zoom lifestyle that we are. But like I said, man, we appreciate you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right, thank you, Eddie.
And a big shout out to our guy, Hank Ruggs 3. As I said, man, he had a really busy day today, so we do appreciate him carving out a few minutes for the remote boys. Well, it's about that time, and we come to the end of the program, or as I should say, the final segment of the program. And it's Victory Formation. It's Eddie Paskal, producer Trav, and with KMM unavailable, no one quite knows where he is. No one knows if he's well, if he's sick. So I feel like we should probably resurrect hashtag prayers for KMM. We welcome in, I don't even want to call him a replacement because he's his own man with his own voice. We welcome in the digital Don himself, Logan Norton. Logan, how the heck are you, brother?
Hey, Eddie. Trav, I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on. And, when KMM's unavailable, I do my best work. So here I am.
Yes, you sound healthy. The past couple of times we've talked to KMM, he hasn't sounded healthy, but you sound strong today.
Yeah, I feel great. I don't know what KMM's up to, but if he gets on my regimen, he should be good.
I think as KMM needs to be on as many regimens as possible with his immune deficiencies and all that, but he will be back hopefully healthier and bigger and better next week. But let's just focus on you. Let's talk about you, Logan. The Rams unveiled their new unis today. God, the 19th team to unveil new uniforms this year. And it's a simple question, big fella. Thumbs up or thumbs down? What do you got?
Yeah, it's a thumbs down for me. I don't get some of the choices when I look at the uniforms. The helmet definitely pops. I like the helmet, but I don't know if I'm a big fan of the color bone, which they are repping now. And if you look at the home and away jerseys, there's some weird things on the shoulders with the numbers are there, and then the numbers aren't there, and there's a ton of logo placement possibility on those uniforms as well. So it's a thumb down for me, but I think they could have been worse.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give them a thumbs down as well, but kind of for the opposite reasons that you are. Like, I kind of like the jerseys. I'm with you. I don't really appreciate or care for the bone colorway, if you will. But I don't like the helmets at all, to be honest. I think I don't know. They just don't do a whole lot for me. And I kind of do like the gradient on the numbers. But for me, they just don't really look, and I'm going to sound like an old man here, but they don't look like NFL uniforms. They look like college uniforms. They look like they're trying to be Oregon yet again. Shocker that another NFL team is trying to pick up what the good people in Eugene are cooking, but they just don't. I don't know. I don't hate them, but I don't feel comfortable giving them a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I liked their jerseys before, but once they unveiled like the new logos and whatnot, I didn't know what to expect. And seeing the finished product, I think I'm okay with them. But I think you're right. I think there's a lot of replication going on there, Eddie.
Producer Trav, what do you got? Thumbs up or thumbs down on these new Rams unis?
Thumbs down, definitely. I mean, I think they're one of those classic franchises that shouldn't mess with their unis. Like, I liked when they went back to the yellow and blue and not like the golden blue that they had when they were in St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I feel like there's. I know I bring them up as an example all the time, but it sickens me to my core, just bums me out to no end what the Seahawks have done to their atrocity of uniforms. Like, you look at those old like Boz, like when the Boz was playing for the Hawks. Like you look at those unis, those were incredible. Those were like 9 out of 10 uniforms. And now they got this weird highlighter. They look like they're like they're like combat. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And it bugs me to no end because you look, like you were saying, Travis, you look at some of those old unis and you're like, there's nothing wrong with this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I truly, for the life of me, can't understand the allure behind those Seahawks uniforms. Can't do it. Well, we move on after that just disheartening effort by the good people of Southern California. And a bit of news, and I wish that KMM was here to kind of relish in his victory, but the Monday Night Football crew is getting a facelift again. Tessamaya, Joe Tessitore out, Booger out. Who's coming in though is my question. Travi, I know that we've given Booger a hard time on this humble program, but it was time for him to go, right? His time had come.
Yeah, he never should have been like the number 2 guy on that broadcast. He's just get him in like not even like a studio analyst. He's like the at home guy that you go to like, he's like 4th on the
On
depth
the
chart.
Yeah, there's no need for him. Logan, how do you feel about the new shakeup to Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. There's definitely some replacements that can really help Monday Night Football. I think they need to figure it out because it's kind of been in limbo for a while now.
Ever since the Grudog departed, well, I guess really ever since Tarico left, right, is kind of where the funkiness really began because they tried to pair the Grudog with who was it, Sean McDonough, right, Logan?
Yeah, he was on there. Yeah.
But then then McDonough's out, then these new guys are in, and I don't know, man. It's like the only positive that I could find from this, and ESPN has a chance to do the right thing and put my close personal friend and an icon in the bald beard community, give Lou Riddick that job. Put him in the booth, let him build his booth. Lou Riddick is a superstar, and let him return us to the glory that once was Monday Night Football. I beg of you, please. I'm not asking for too much.
Who's going to do play-by-play then?
That's a great question. I guess I didn't really think of that. I don't know who are like Logan. Who are like the top play-by-play guys at ESPN right now?
Well, I mean, 2 of the guys that I have on my list are Spiro Ditas,
Oh
and
no,
Ian
no!
Eagle. I'm a big Ian
Oh
Eagle guy,
God! Boo this man, Travis. You're a
man.
Spiro guy.
I am, man. I don't know,
What
something
are you,
about
Dan
him.
Fouts lover too?
Hey,
No,
hey, you leave Dan Fouts out of this. Dan Fouts is an Oregon legend. Oh my gosh, you
But I
would
also
really
got.
be.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you'd really be okay with Spiro taking the uh the control of the ship on Monday Night Football.
I mean, tell me it's not an upgrade.
What is Spiro doing right now? Is he employed?
I don't know. He's
Yeah,
probably
but
just finishing college basketball. Yeah, that's a good point.
you can't have a man who's jobless just hop into the Monday night booth. You can't do it.
What about? I think like the popular pick is Pat McAfee.
I like McAfee. I do. Like I enjoy his brand of shenanigans. I really do. I don't know, man. I feel like that's gonna be such a tough sell to all the old people that watch Monday Night Football. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. I think it would completely change the trajectory of Monday Night Football. Like, and Trav, you could probably talk to this a little bit more than I could, but if you have a guy like him in the booth, like you have to change your entire production, right? Because I feel like all of a sudden you're not really doing like that classic 3rd and 4, Brady drops back to his right. Like the whole thing changes a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they did have Dennis Miller at one point too. So like, and what was he's a comedian. Like, what is he even doing on there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the good thing with McAfee is that McAfee does have like that football background, and he probably could go X's and O's better than shoot. I guess almost anyone on their roster right now. But I don't know. I kind of like McAfee for what he is right now, and if he probably has aspirations to do something different, and if he does, God bless him, and he wants to get better, just like all of us do. But I like McAfee as kind of like the standalone kind of one-off guy who does kind of his bits and is really really good at them and is incredibly engaging and entertaining. And I mean, we saw what he did at the XFL on the sideline there. Like he's an entertaining dude. Like he's a funny dude. I just don't know if if he kind of makes sense for Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I agree, Eddie. I think some of his limited games that he's called, I think he's done a pretty good job. But he's kind of built his own brand now, and I just don't even know if he would be interested too.
Yeah, I mean that's like the other side of it too, where it's like if he were to get approached to do Monday Night Football, as crazy as it sounds, does he look at this and say, that's not really what I'm trying to do right now. It's not really what I'm trying to be about. As crazy as it sounds, because Monday Night Football in so many ways is the pinnacle of broadcasting and announcing in the biggest sport in North America. But yeah, you're right, Logan, where he's definitely, and I love the fact that he's kind of carved out his own niche. He has his own thing. He is very much in tune with what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. And I don't know, maybe like I said, maybe they bring him on and they completely change the dynamic of Monday Night Football and it becomes something different than any of us have ever seen. And that could be awesome. But maybe he says, you know what, guys, like a very respectful thanks, but no thanks. But I'm kind of happy doing what I'm doing. And I kind of want to build that. So, dude, it is it's going to be really, really interesting to see how they fix this because let's make no mistake about it. All due respect to Booger and Tessa Maya, but that thing needed an upgrade and needed an upgrade bad. When you had the Booger Mobile, when they debuted the Booger Mobile, like you knew this was not destined to be a long term solution. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what the guys at ESPN who get paid a lot of money to come up with these solutions, what they can come up with. But other people in the world are trying to come up with solutions that will make the three of us and most likely everyone who listens to our humble little program happy as we're getting closer. We're inching closer at a snail's pace to at least it looks like a return to some sort of professional sport. Big shout out to our brothers in South Korea, our brothers and sisters who have returned to baseball, but the NBA looks like is getting a little bit closer. The Premier League is inching closer, and God knows how badly I need the Premier League back in my life. They're coming back. It sounds like baseball could be coming around early July, late June, early July. Logan, when the Bundesliga returns this weekend, and Logan, I know you are a diehard Bundesliga fan. So are you going to be tuning in? Are you going to be waking up early on Saturday to watch a little German soccer?
Probably not. But maybe I will now that you've mentioned it. I have no idea what you're talking about, to be honest.
The Bundesliga is it's the professional soccer league, the tier 1 soccer league in Germany, and they are returning with live games. No fans, obviously, but they're getting back to work on Saturday. And I know, Trav, your guys, as this is actually a great time because, Trav, you are wearing, and since we're not doing a video portion of the show, those of you guys at home can't see him, but Trav is wearing his Bayern Munich, what is that, a quarter zip, a sweatshirt, Trav? What's the technical term for what you're wearing?
Hooded sweatshirt, I guess.
With hooded sweatshirt?
Yeah, zip up.
You going to be watching a little Bundesliga this weekend?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I generally watch it anyway, so.
What channel is it on?
Fox Sports 1 usually.
FS1. I saw the great KMM sent me a graphic about about all the start times for the Bundesliga this weekend, and they're like all live, in all caps.
Yeah.
And it like the channel was like BT Sport or like BS Sport or something like that. And I was like, bro, I don't know what channel that is, but I will find out. I promise you.
Yeah, I know Fox has the broadcast rights here, so it could even be on the big Fox channel. I don't know.
Dude, if Big Fox was smart, they would throw a couple of those games on Saturday.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the matchups yet, so I don't even know if there's any big matchups.
I mean, we haven't seen anything in 3 months. You could send out Bayern's Water Boy to take on the mascot from whoever, and I would tune in probably.
Yeah,
it's been a desert. Logan, are you a soccer guy? I don't know if we've had this conversation yet.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. But I did want to add that I did watch the UFC, and I did enjoy that a lot. Getting the live back with no fans. Greg Hardy had something where he said he could, hear Joe Rogan or whoever, and he made those adjustments, and it helped him win. So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
So I'm with you. What'd you do for the fights on Saturday, by the way, Logan? I'm a little upset you didn't hit my line now that we're practically neighbors.
I just watched them by myself in quarantine, man. That's about it.
I'm with you. It was actually kind of fun. Me and one of my buddies, we ordered the fights and we just set up a little Zoom between us So it was like, you can commentate, and there was actually the delay was really like not existent, which was nice. But who was the guy? Who was the main event? It was the ghoulish gentleman who ended up taking the What was his name?
Couldn't tell you, Eddie.
Yeah, me neither. But he took a savage beating.
Yeah,
Just
for
all these
sure.
guys took savage beatings. Like I was joking, man. Like I haven't been in a fight since probably like sixth grade, maybe. But I cannot imagine getting punched in the face right now, repeatedly, over and over, for like 20 minutes. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, and I'm still pretty new to UFC. Like
Oh, me
obviously
too.
moving,
100%,
yeah,
100%.
moving to Las Vegas, it's definitely caught my attention and whatnot. But yeah, Eddie, I don't think I've been in a fight since first grade, so you beat me there.
Oh man, I always joke with my friends because you know me pretty well. I'm certainly not a fighter. I would never pretend to be a fighter or a big tough guy, nothing like that. But I always joke with my buddies that I'm 1-0 because I won that fight in sixth grade and then I retired. I said this is not the life for me. This is not the life I want to be living. And my mom was not happy with me. So I hung up my boxing gloves, and that's all she wrote.
Undefeated, 1-0, Eddie Paskal.
Undefeated. And not even heavy. I was probably like a featherweight champion of the world at that point, where I was probably coming in at like maybe like 110, 115, soaking wet, man. Ooh, I was a lean, mean machine. But gentlemen, we've done it. We've come to the end of our first Coors Light show. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Travi. We've done it. And I have to ask you, and I've wanted to do this for so long, Travis. Hey, Trav, we got a few minutes to crack a few cold ones?
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, buddy. Logan, you want to start us off, or you want Travi to go?
I can start us off. Yeah, I got a unique one. So I just wanted to crack a cold one for Survivor. It is finishing up its 40th season. That show has been on since I was very young, and it's given me something to look forward to every Wednesday during the queue. So this one's for Survivor. Jeff Probst, big fan of the show, and congratulations on 40 seasons and 20 years, I believe.
Jeff Probst is still the guy?
Man, he's got a great agent. I will tell you that he is doing his thing.
How is he aging? Because I remember him back when the Survivor was huge, like those first couple seasons, and he was like kind of a man in demand. How's Jeff aging? Is he doing well these days?
Yeah, I think he's doing great. I think he's him and Paul Rudd. I don't know what they're doing, but they are doing it right. And he keeps the show going. And I don't know if I would watch the show if Jeff was not out there doing his slogans that he does during the show.
Well, hey Jeff, if you're listening, this is your official invitation to come on the pod with us, chop it up with Logan and the rest of the boys. So, Jeff Probst, this one's for you, brother. What do you got, Trav?
Wow, how do I follow that?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
hard.
Okay, so mine is for the F-15C Eagle fighter jets out of where are they out of? Fresno, I believe. And they so today they actually flew around the state of California to salute healthcare workers, first responders, and everyone on the front lines of the fight against COVID-19. So I actually heard them fly over my house. It was pretty cool, though.
That's sweet. Logan, who was it that was the Thunderbirds that flew over here in Vegas like a month ago, right?
Yep, they did, and they.
Did you see him?
I did not see him though, but I did see the flyover of Allegiant Stadium, and that was awesome. That blew me away.
Did you see it on Raiders.com or did you see it live?
I did. I believe I saw it Raiders.com, Allegiant Stadium, Twitter, and Instagram.
Smart, very smart. I actually, since we're talking about flyovers, and Logan, the more time we spend together, you will learn that there are few things that I love in this life more than a flyover. I love them. I need them. They fuel me. Sometimes it's the best part of the game. Sometimes I kind of just check out after the flyover if it's a primetime game. So now I'm good. We got the flyover. I'll pass. See you in 4 hours. But I was so excited when I found out that the Thunderbirds were going to be flying by through Henderson. And I, like a kid on Christmas morn, was waiting in my backyard. I had a live stream up on the iPad that was showing their flight trajectory. And then I had my camera, my phone, because I wanted to record them, and they never showed up. I stood out there for, I kid you not, almost an hour, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and they never came. And it crushed me. It absolutely just tore me up inside.
Yeah, those are always my favorite photos too, from pregame at the stadium. But yeah, Eddie, I feel for you. You probably really looked forward to that during quarantine and all geared up. And sorry, man.
That's all right, man. I appreciate someone at least said sorry, because they sure didn't. They didn't say anything to me. I would have loved to say. You know what, Trav? Do we have a contact for someone at the Thunderbirds? They're Vegas guys, right? Like, we gotta have an in with one of them, right?
I'm sure our personal friend Lauren Chandler can help us with that. I feel like she
Yes,
is their contact.
yes, the great BDZ. Perhaps we'll hit a BDZ, see if we can get one of the Thunderbirds on this pod. Think about this as a pod. This was a good show. Like, I feel like pretty strong about this one. I would say like 9.7 out of 10. If we had a podcast with Jeff Probst and one of the dudes from the Thunderbirds, I don't know if we could do any better, to be honest with you, gentlemen.
We got to see what Jeff is up to for sure.
Is Jeff on Twitter, Logan?
I don't know, but I know a lot of TV hosts have been doing podcasts lately. So I'm sure, I don't know, maybe Jeff could come on and plug the 41st season or whatever they're on and talk a little Raiders football.
Dude, I'm gonna hit Jeff Probst's line. I'm 100% gonna do it. I've
I just can't
decided.
believe they have 40 seasons of that show. That just seems mind-boggling to me.
I'm starting to have some issues with it, Trav. It has been on for so long and it's trying to adjust. But they started that first season with a bang, man. And I feel like Jeff's been holding that show together.
Yeah, what was his name? Richard?
Yeah, Richard Hatch. That was like the first one. And, my only complaint really with the show lately is that I don't feel like they're really surviving anymore, if that makes any sense. They're not really in dangerous situations like they were in Africa that one time. But I always find a way. I always mark my calendar and sit down and watch Survivor.
Where are they surviving this season, Logan?
I actually don't know, but they're on 2 islands right now. There's an exile island they're doing, and they do fire tokens now. Okay? So it's they have currency on Survivor now.
Huh. I'm going to have to check this out, I think. Set the DVR.
Does it? Man, I love it. This is the beauty of getting people in the mix. You talk a little Survivor, you talk a little Jeff Probst. Kyle? Sorry, Logan. Logan, who was the guy that pretended his grandma died? Who was that? That's the only guy I remember really vividly.
Yeah, and I think it's Johnny something. I
can see that guy's face right now.
Johnny Fairplay, right? Wasn't that it?
I want to say that's it, Eddie. And he talk about a plot twist on Survivor, Eddie. Whoa.
Wasn't there a day we were watching this in the studio or something? I remember his name coming up before.
I feel like we've watched like his like little 7-minute bit on Survivor, but I don't think we've ever watched like a full episode in the studio.
No. I remember we watched like a YouTube video on him.
Yeah, I know. We definitely watched something on him before. Logan, are previous seasons on Netflix or anything like that? Or how do you get in and view some Survivors of years past?
That's a great question. I'm guessing you would probably have to like buy the box set or check out, YouTube. I don't think they're on a streaming service. But I would love to go back and watch like some of the food auctions. I think that was always my favorite part of that show.
Logan, can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead, Eddie.
Do you own any of the box set of Survivor?
I do not, but I did have the computer game growing up.
Okay, there's no shame in that game.
No shame in that, but those box sets were always too expensive, Eddie.
I know who's got that kind of money at 13 and 14. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but you can go to Goodwill and get them for like $1 now. So
shoot, that's probably more in my financial wheelhouse at the moment, anyways. But I guess I got to crack a cold one, right, Trav? Before we get out of here.
Yeah, we went off on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah, a little bit of a tangent. Good tangent though. I'm gonna crack a good one for the good people at Nevada Hand. That's capital HAND. And they're a nonprofit service out here in the desert that has been delivering groceries to senior citizens. And that's pretty cool, man, because too often we forget our elder brothers and sisters and the generation that came before us. And as we know at this point, the people that are being affected astronomically more than the Eddies and the Kyles and the Logans and the producer Travs are the older folks. And so the fact that this organization is going out, they're providing meals. I think the last time I checked, it was they had provided over 2,000 meals to senior citizens in the area, man, and that's pretty cool. And like I said, don't forget about your grandma and your grandpa. Don't go visit them right now, but make sure you give them a call, say what's up, and you know, don't forget, because they came before us, and a lot of us are where we are now because of the things that they did when they were our age. So big shout out to the good people at Nevada Hand, man. We salute you, and we salute the good people at Coors Light, because we're out of here, Travi. I think we have wrapped up the show. We have done it. Our first of many now, sponsored upon further review. What a world, Travis. What a world.
Feels good.
Feels good. Feels right. Feels like this is the start of a beautiful, beautiful adventure together. So, for Eddie Paskal, producer Trav, the Digital Don himself, Logan Norton, Hank Ruggs III, engineer Jim, shout out that logo once more, and everyone else who helps us get this little program from A to Z, we thank you deeply, humbly, and oh so sincerely. And we will catch you guys next week on another episode of Upon Further Review.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Upon Further Review, presented by Coors Light on the official Raiders Podcast Network.